Hello, world, and welcome back to another triumphant edition of Where Were You? Super Bowl Countdown Edition. We are counting down to Super Bowl 60, which is just a few short days away. And we have some familiar faces with us here today. Chad, it was very nice of you to join us, finally.
I'm I'm happy to be here.
You're happy? Yeah. We missed you. We did a couple episodes without you. It wasn't the same.
Well, you know what? They were pretty lively, so I'm thinking maybe I should retire.
I don't I just wanted I don't want you to be threatened or but I've had some people say, "Hey, you know, if his job is available, you give me a call."
Oh, they can't afford them.
Also returning for his second stint today, this makes you an official friend of the podcast.
I like that.
Yeah, with three visitations, with 3 appearances, you get a commemorative pin, and if you become the 5-timer, the 5-timers club, we get you
Bumper sticker?
a blazer, a blazer.
Oh.
Yeah. So send me your
Outstanding.
measurements. We got to get you fitted. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Boston's classic rock 100.7 WZLX, Kenny Young.
Hello. Thank you
Hello.
for having me back, Joel and Chad. I'm very excited. I'm ecstatic. I cannot believe that the Patriots are going to their 12th Super Bowl. This is it's
Yeah.
not we've been playing on house money for the last month. So
Yeah.
if you had told me back in September that the Patriots would be returning to the Super Bowl with a legitimate chance to get their 7th Lombardi trophy, I would say, you're nuts.
You're nuts.
Kid.
We didn't think this was going to happen a year ago.
I had them winning 10 games. I'll tell you that.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Because I won a bet earlier on that they were going to win 10 games.
that's more than they won the previous 2 years combined. So
That's
combined, exactly.
I thought I was
No.
gutsy because I bet more than 7, but geez, 10, that's good.
good
I went
stuff.
bold.
Well,
I
nobody
felt good
could have
about
predicted this, and it's also been over 600 days since the last Boston championship. So it's when the Celtics won. So it's been a drought that we're finally overcoming.
I know. And hopefully, if all goes according to plan, these second graders, these 7-year-olds will finally get to see a Patriots championship. So it's for the kids this year.
We do
when
it
you
for the
stop
kids.
and think about it.
We got a lot to cover today. So here's the deal. Chad and I thought it would be fun to reach out to the people who we know, who enjoy the football and have great Super Bowl memories. And what we're going to do today is going to be a roller coaster ride. You see, we're going to talk about some of the high highs and the low lows. And that, everybody, of course, hates on the Patriots because they've had such a long run of success. But they do have a little bit. They have some baggage, a little bit here and there. So, but we're gonna keep. I want to start off. I want to start on the low notes, and it's still I think the game that it was the one that got away. I'm talking about Super Bowl 42, the year the Patriots were undefeated against the New
Yes.
York Giants,
Yes.
going into the
18-1.
18-1. I know where I was. Chad. Start with you. What was going on in your life?
I mean, I was at home expecting an undefeated season to be, the capper, and suffered.
It was inevitable. We all thought it was inevitable. Yeah, we all
Well, I mean,
watched.
Brady to Moss was like, how many times is that going to happen? I don't know, 3 maybe.
Yeah,
A game.
And you got to remember, the receiving touchdowns and throwing touchdowns season record was set against the Giants in one of the final games of the regular season.
correct.
So we had already smoked them and made it look easy. So I was like, this is going to be a cakewalk through the Super Bowl.
See, I remember that game. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, but the game you're talking about, the final game of the season, not being the cakewalk that we thought it was. I thought it was, and I got to go back and look and see what the score was, but I remember it being similar to the year that the first year the Patriots won, and they played the Rams earlier in the year, and it kind of served as a blueprint for the Rams to take down the Patriots, for the Patriots to take down the Rams later. And I felt like
that was a tougher game though, because if you go back and watch it, I believe it was in East Rutherford. I believe it was at Giant Stadium when
Yeah.
They beat them in the regular season that year,
An
and it was like,
complete the
American
yeah,
splendor, East
spoken like a true New Jersey and
true that.
Mhm.
Kenny, what were you think was there ever a point where you were nervous? I have a couple moments, but was there ever a point either before the game or during the game where you were like or, in the moments leading up to where you had any seeds of doubt that this might not happen?
Yeah, I just think due to the prior success of the Pats, and I was like, hopefully, they didn't have the same mindset I did, is that they were just gonna show up and play their game and win, and because they had smoked people. I mean, remember the complaint that year in the regular season was, "There go the Patriots running up the score,"
Right.
because it
You know
was
what
a
the score.
historically one of the best offenses of all time. I mean, I don't think it'll ever be duplicated, and it was just like, it was a few plays different. So, yeah, I had my doubts during the Super Bowl, during the game, of course, especially in the 4th quarter when, out of
Oh,
nowhere, these fluky plays were being made, and, if I'm recalling, Asante Samuel dropping what would have been a ceiling
I would have done
interception
it.
in
Right.
that game,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
which was earlier on too. I think that was prior to the 4th quarter, but
And
it was
didn't and they
another
had
huge turning point, and it's one of those plays I look back on, like, if had he just come down with the ball and hit him in the hands, he undercut a route. It was like if he had just come down with it, I believe it was that game, and I wanna say it was the 3rd quarter, but it would have been a huge momentum shift in the game and probably would have given us a few more points on the board with some breathing room. But
Yeah.
I know what you're leading up to at this, by the way.
But the secondary played, actually remarkably well given all the flukiness, except for Brandon Merriweather. I don't know if you guys remember, he was just torched in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about the helmet catch. Let's just get it over with. Let's just talk about it. David Tyree.
Flush it out.
It's healthy. It's healthy if we just talk about it. Just was that all right? I'm gonna be very honest. I haven't watched the replay of it very many times in my life.
I can't watch it.
Was that it was 4th down, correct? Was
I believe it was.
and Eli
Yeah.
Manning was
Yes.
seconds, like, away from I mean, just inches away from getting sacked, correct?
Oh,
Yes, he was.
like 3 times
Like,
on the
3
play.
times. It would have sealed right, and it would have sealed the game. He hurls it downfield. Who was covering him? Do we
I wanna say Rodney Harrison,
I think you're right,
Yes.
it was Rodney Harrison.
because I mean, it was just sticky coverage. He manned up on him, or he came over and picked him up, and
Yep.
I just remember, like, it's still burned in my mind movies, but, I mean, you couldn't have covered Terrell any better.
Nope.
Yeah.
He couldn't have covered him any better. It
How
was
do
just a
you
fluky thing.
I know what I was feeling the minutes after that game. I had just moved to Cleveland, from Massachusetts, um, just a few months earlier. The Red Sox had just won the World Series, a few months earlier. We didn't know at the time, but
2018, yep.
the Celtics were, just a few months away from winning an NBA championship. So this could have been, should have been, the trifecta. Um, so I just remember washing my dishes very, very, very vigorously after the game. Those were the cleanest dishes ever. And it was just like, you know,
It was
I
just
remember where I was for that Super Bowl because I had broken protocol, which how superstitious I am from previous episodes of,
yes.
Where Were You? But we had been invited to a Super Bowl party, a couple miles away at our friend's place, and, I remember thinking, like, I really shouldn't leave the house. I shouldn't leave my couch,
yeah.
and I had those,
Wait a minute.
flickers of doubt, painfully, it's like, I should not have left the
It
house. I
was
blamed
you.
myself for a long time,
I
Uh,
think I blame you after all these years.
and
it was
with just cause.
it was just such a missed opportunity because they were so much better team, and I
Yeah.
watched, actually just a few highlights, leading up to this, episode, and if they were calling offensive pass interference back then like they do now,
Oh,
Plaxico Burress and Tyree would have been I mean, they
Pushing
Giants would have
off.
been shut out.
one
Yeah.
of the other moments where I felt nervous going in. Um, there was a press conference. I think Plax. You mentioned Plaxico Burress. I think he had made a prediction prior to the game that the
Oh,
Giants
yeah.
were gonna win,
Yeah.
and I think he said 24-17, or I think that was the score that he said, and somebody mentioned it to Brady in one of Brady's press conferences, and he kinda scoffed at it, and he kinda laughed, and he said, 17 they think we're only gonna score 17 points? I think we're gonna score more than 17 points." Turns out they didn't score more than 17 points, and I remember it planted a seed of doubt in my mind because I thought, the Patriots are trained and are so good at not taking the bait like that, and he took the bait, and he came off, I think he was trying to be playful, like,
Yeah.
17 points, come on, Plaxico, we're gonna but
Yeah.
it was that moment where I thought, "Oh my god, that's the bulletin board material that they're gonna." Any
Right.
other lingering thoughts from that particular game, either of you, that
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tom Petty was the halftime entertainment, and to
okay.
this day, when I hear certain Tom Petty songs, I get a little triggered, I get a little twitchy because 'cause I'm like and I remember for years after that, I would said, Tom Petty, who last year performed at the, events that we will not discuss any further.
I was gonna say, if Tom Pe if Tom Petty triggers you, you're in the wrong line of work, my friend.
I know, hear him on a
A
daily
lot of
basis,
Tom
and I
Petty
love
on
the
that
man's
radio
music,
station.
but yeah, it took me a while to get past that, but
Chad,
My
what about you?
oh,
Yeah, I noticed that Wes Welker had 11 catches in that game, which tied a Super Bowl record, so if they'd won, he would have been the MVP, I think,
Yeah.
which
Poor
is
Wes, never
crazy.
won a Super Bowl. He had
No.
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning as his quarterbacks, never won a Super
and
Bowl.
even more of an atrocity is that Randy Moss never won a Super Bowl.
Mm,
That's a true story. Yeah.
fair.
That's the to me, that's just like, I mean, especially after the season he had with the Patriots that year.
Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right, let's switch gears, because now that we're all, thoroughly depressed, we're going back up the roller coaster. We're up the incline, uh, but it didn't start there. It started down here. I'm talking about Super Bowl 51, Patriots Falcons. What
ah,
what a game!
ah,
I don't even know, um, that this game will ever be topped in
I
my life.
saw this game through the eyes of my, nephew, who was at that time in his life, was one of those teens who can recite every stat of every player and was maniacally playing fantasy, and to watch him his whole life, the Patriots just won, and
Sure.
to watch them go down that big, I was like, "I don't know if this kid's gonna make it."
right, right.
I sent my kids to bed. Partially I did. I was like, "Go to bed. We're done." And Abby, my oldest, she was what? She was probably about 10 or 11 at the time. She went to bed. And Lucy, who was, at the time 7 or 8, put up a little bit of a protest, and she sat at the top of the stairs, just listening to my reaction. And then when she realized that it was safe to come, it might be good for her to come down, she just came down,
Oh
and we
my
we
god.
watched the
That
game
is
together.
so her.
Amidst a lot of coarse language.
Yeah. But it was a comeback that just it so unlike, the one previous that they won against the Seahawks, which turned on a dime on the blink of an eye with an interception. This one was a slow burn, and you could start
Till the
with
second half.
no,
Well,
that's
till
what I'm
the
saying. That's what
4th
I'm saying.
quarter, really.
That's what I'm saying. The comeback was a slow burn. It was
Mhm.
you're like, "Okay. Oh, well," and and was there a point for either of you where you thought, "They're gonna do this. It seems inevitable."
Yeah, I'd like to hear what Kenny's is, 'cause I have a distinct one.
There's a few, but first off, I have to say, this marked a huge turning point in that I felt okay leaving the house and watching the Super Bowl somewhere else. So it started a nice run, and I'm doing it again this Sunday at, my buddy's, he's my brother from another mother out in Upton, and, we had a system going, and, his brother-in-law came over who was admittedly not a big football fan, so we're explaining during the first half of the Super Bowl, like, the prowess of the Patriots, and here they are being dismantled in front of us, and I remember turning to him, his name's Jordan, and saying, "Look, this doesn't happen to us,
Yeah,
especially not on this stage, especially not at this point in the season," and we were just awestruck as to how we could get so far in the hole,
yeah.
exactly, and then when the tide started to turn, I remember turning to Jordan saying, you need to remember this. This is the only Super Bowl you need to remember because a comeback like this never happens. You never see this in a Super Bowl. Usually, when a team's getting their doors blown off, it sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at 28-3. Once they tied the game, once it was knotted up, I felt
It was
like that was
inevitable.
it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's inevitable now. Like the Falcons were so defeated, dare I say, deflated at that point. I was like, there's no coming back.
But
And
it's
Yeah.
and
so
I think if I go back to the fourth quarter, it also kicked off a tradition at my buddy's house in Upton where I had to leave the living room, the great room, and go out to the kitchen and look through the doorway. Because when I did that, with many alcoholic beverages, they were converting first downs. And
Yeah.
then somebody jokingly said, "Kenny, you better stay in the kitchen."
Yeah.
Well, that's all I needed to
yeah.
hear. As a matter of fact, I spent the last 2 Sundays, the last 2 Pats playoffs games here in 2026, in my kitchen watching it on a little, like,
Oh,
37-inch monitor while everyone was enjoying the
Oh
big screen in the
my
living room.
god, that's
But
hilarious.
I make those sacrifices, Chad, because this is what it takes to go all the way.
Kenny, I miss watching sporting events with you because I forgot about all this. I
Oh
forgot
god, I wish I could
the
I wish I could
superstitions are no joke. It is not to be trifled
no.
with.
He's for real, he's for real.
Yeah.
I remember, 2 things about the when did I think it was possible. One, I swear to God, when they went to commercial at the end of the first half, I did turn to somebody and say, "Well, if there's any team that could do it,
Yeah.
it's the Patriots." But, I mean, I was pretty much joking, and then, I do remember for me, it was I think they were down 28-9. It was somewhere
Yeah.
mid-3rd quarter.
They missed an extra point when they scored a touchdown
Yes,
somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
and Atlanta was driving, and it was like, "Oh, if they score here, even if it's a field goal, it's the nail." And, Hightower and, Flowers had a strip sack,
Strip
Mhm.
sack.
Yes.
Yep.
and it just
And
stopped. That was the last time
Mhm.
Atlanta did anything.
Yeah.
yep.
It just quashed it,
Yeah,
squashed it. It was, yeah, exactly. That's a great play to bring up.
they were still
I think it
down.
was
Momentum.
I think for me, it had to have been Edelman's catch when
Oh,
he made that,
Oh,
the one that bounced off of
yeah.
him 3 or 4 times. He had it
I don't know how
cradled in
it's
his
taken
fingers,
this long to bring that up,
yeah.
but
and then
yeah.
he actually let go of it. It's like an inch off the ground, and he catches it again in his hands, and there's, I think, 3 defenders on him. They're, like, playing Twister, and he somehow and that was the moment where I felt like destiny
Oh,
was
wow.
inevitable. It
Yeah,
was gonna
no.
happen.
And
I
if
was
you
like,
recall, he was mic'd up for that game, and if you recall in the NFL films, because 'cause I've rewatched this game, I watch it probably twice a year, he gets up immediately and he goes, "I caught it!" He
yeah,
sounds like a little
yeah,
kid playing
and
Pop
he
Warner. He's like,
points
"I
at
caught it! I
the
caught it! Look,
jumbotron. Yeah,
look!" I
yeah.
love that. I love that
That's
because he
so
knew he had it.
He knew he had it.
but even speaking of superstition, even the pessimist in me, when they made it 28-26, I turned to my wife and I was like, "It's really hard to make 2 two-point conversions in one game." I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Just, don't get your hopes up too high here." And
Games,
Mhm.
which one of these games looms larger, do you think, in the Patriots, legacy? Is there one that you think, I mean, obviously, we're biased but the rest of the world sees us differently, but is there one that I guess, in either of your minds that this, I guess, had greater significance to you?
I think for me, I wasn't 18-1 was heartbreaking and shocking, but I do remember, like, a week later thinking, "Jesus, we won the thing a lot." And, like,
Yeah.
I was like, "You can't win
I
every time."
I had that same thought, and I remember having a conversation at the time. I was working with Chad on the Gatorade Player of the Year, and I was talking to our colleague Steve Willett after the game the next morning, and I said the same thing. I was like, "Man, it's okay though, right? Because we won some." And I remember Steve was not feeling that way. He was like, "No, we need I wa
Mhm.
we needed this one."
But
And
But
for
yeah,
me, it was the gravity of it, like, this is never gonna happen again in the NFL.
yeah,
You're not gonna see a team go undefeated in the regular season. It's not gonna happen.
no.
yeah.
What about you,
I'm
Joel?
I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer that the heartbreaking losses we need heartbreaking losses, as sports fans, because it's the heartbreak that makes the winning better later. I
He's a
believe
hapless romantic, Chad. That's what it is.
it's true. Like the 2004 Red Sox wouldn't have been as sweet if it hadn't been preceded by 86
Had
years
we
of
not
heartbreak.
gotten crushed
The
by
year
Aaron
before,
Boone the
right,
season
that
before?
too, 100 or Buckner or all of that. I feel like the subsequent this, the Super Bowl, that we were just talking about, against the Falcons wouldn't have been as sweet if they hadn't fallen down 28-3. It would,
Oh, yeah.
and none of them would have been as it was all much sweeter because of that loss to the Giants. Any final thoughts? Wrapping up, what do you guys thought? I mean, and looking ahead to, you know what? Here's what we'll do. Let's look
Yeah,
ahead to this upcoming Super Bowl.
yeah.
How are you guys feeling going into this?
Oh, I wanna hear how Kenny's feeling because I'm not sure how I'm feeling, but I think I know how I'm feeling.
The fact that the Patriots defense has been red hot and has been an afterthought in a lot of the eyes of the talking heads in the national media, I love it. And I love once again that we're already, what, 3.5 or 5-point underdogs.
Yeah,
I
4
love that.
4.5, I think.
And I love that all the pundits are picking the Seahawks as this juggernaut. When if you look at it, we've played a lot of the same opponents. And if you look at the numbers, the Patriots have had I guess, statistically, in some categories, better numbers than the Seahawks in similar teams that we've played this season, but everyone's calling him this juggernaut that can't be stopped, and Sam Darnold. Well, I have to think back again to the Sam Darnold game when he played with the Jets, and he sat there on the bench going, "I'm seeing ghosts. I'm seeing ghosts." And here's the funny thing about that, and sure, it was the Jets, right? He did not have the cast of characters
Yeah.
that he has now in Seattle, but
Right.
I'll say this, I feel like the Patriots defense right now is just rolling.
Yeah.
They're rolling, they're red hot, and, whatever it takes to get you to this point in the season, I mean, you gotta ride with it, right? You gotta ride the hot hand, and
Chad, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, he took the words right out of my mouth. Both the physicality of the Patriots defense right now, especially up front. I mean, people can't run on them lately
Right.
at all. And
Everyone's healthy now too, that's the other thing.
yes. And yeah, and the whole phenomenon of setting that tone, I think is gonna be critical. I do think Sam Darnold is better than people think. I think he's just had a really weird road, but I think they're gonna put so much pressure on him by shutting down the run. I don't see it. I don't see it for them.
There was a period during the playoffs, I was hoping the Bears would advance so that the Patriots could have a
Oh,
revenge game against
I
the
yes.
know.
'85 Bears,
Same,
right? In
same.
which we got I'm old enough to remember watching them get absolutely blown out in that game,
Yes.
and of course, Refrigerator Perry, barrel-assing his way into the end zone. So, this is what I want. This is what I'd love. The chef's kiss, the cherry on top, I wanna see Tonga put in as fullback and scoring a touchdown, and
Nice.
having that be like a difference maker, like having that be like the go ahead that seals the
Oh,
game.
that'd be
I just think it
awesome.
would just encapsulate this whole season to have this, these little goofy plays here and there. But, early on in the season, Tonga, a defensive player, was put in as a blocker, on 4th and shorts and I think some goal line situations. Don't be surprised. I'm going to say it right now. What is this, January 30th that we're recording this? Don't be surprised if Tonga has a rushing touchdown in the Super Bowl.
All
Wow.
right.
I
You heard it
love that.
here.
I do think we're
All
gonna
right.
see some funny business, on the play calling a little bit.
The show is called Where Were You? Remember that the best way, the absolute best way to help support this podcast is to hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening right now. You can find us on the YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, social media. We're on the Facebook, all the things, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
How do I
Uh,
find you on MySpace?
we're on
Me
the
and my
friends
friend
page.
Tom have been looking for you.
We got, yeah, we got suspended from MySpace. I don't know what to say. Thanks to Molly Beck Ferguson, who wrote and sang our original theme song. Thank you to Kenny Young, our guest today. Once again, you can find him on the
I thank
afternoon
you
drive.
for inviting me on again. This has been fun.
Ugh.
Afternoon drive 2 to 7, Boston's Classic Rock, WZLX. And Chad, welcome back. Welcome back to the family, Chad. We
It's
missed you.
fun to be here, and I love this Kenny visits with the superstitions, and the guy actually knows sports. He should think about having a sports show.
No, there he is.
Well, anytime you wanna have me pop on here, I'm happy to do it,
We
but,
Love it.
love it. Well,
like I said, rest assured, I'm gonna be out in Upton in the kitchen once again this Sunday at my buddy's place, so I'm feeling good, baby. I'm
fantastic.
feeling good, plus we have
Uh,
Tom,
the
Tom,
doll.
terrific.
The doll has to stay here, though, I can't bring him with
No,
me.
no, no, no traveling for the doll.
that's the actual Tom Brady. That's not a figurine. That's
A fi a figurine.
a figurine. It's not a doll. It's a figurine.
No, sir,
Thank
I
you so
didn't see
much.
you playing with your dolls again.
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, everybody. We are Where Were You? And we'll see you next time.